So, hello everybody, good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. I guess a lot of you are still eating right now. I'm the CEO of Technoport, like Debbie told you. And you might be wondering why actually I've put a sentence like it's not all about startups as somebody who runs an incubator in Luxembourg. But if you look at it more closely, it's quite obvious. If you look also what the purpose is of Arch Summit, it's to connect startups with corporates and established SMEs. And that's basically also the work we have to do within an incubator right now in our daily job. So what type of programs or initiatives did we put in place to achieve this goal and to make an environment which is more than just startups, but it's really fostering innovation on different levels? So, of course, we talk with our major clients, which are the startups and the spin-offs coming from public research, but we also have added quite early in our existence a third pillar, which is R&D centers from foreign companies who want to do some innovation in Luxembourg. So I will not go and tell you about all the advantages you have by doing that in Luxembourg. There are stands from Digital Luxembourg and Lux Innovation that can give you this information on a more personalized way. But for us, it was quite crucial, not just for a purpose of economic diversification, but also in terms of linking these companies with our natural ecosystem of startups. These are three examples of such companies who came to Luxembourg to establish some innovation from here. Raval is an Israeli company in automotive. SIPA is an Italian company also developing new concepts in the automotive industry. Both have already left our premises. And the third one is Guala Closures, who is still with us at Technoport. So I will just go a little bit deeper with Guala. Guala is actually a multinational which is producing these kind of products. So I don't know if you see it, but it's caps for bottles. You might say, okay, what's innovative in that? So a little bit more background about the company. It's the biggest multinational that produces caps in the world. They have 26 production plants over the world and 5 R&D centers. And one of these centers is based in Luxembourg. And when they came to Luxembourg to open up this center, they said, we want to work on the future of the caps. So integrating technologies like NFC, like blockchain technologies to certify what is the content of a bottle to the final consumer. And they were pretty clear at the beginning by saying, we have the expertise in designing caps, in producing caps, but we don't have necessarily all the competences for integrating the right technologies when we want to bring some new innovation in that industry. And by the way, it's not just about caps, water caps. It's, you can imagine there are caps which are much more complicated and complex for high-brand alcohols. So they serve actually a big part of the market worldwide. So this company was from day one open to work with startups and also with established SMEs who could bring some competences that they didn't have in-house. And on top of that, as I said, as they have all these production lines over the world, another big topic for them is related to Industry 4.0. So digitalizing the whole production facilities, gathering data, and then also being more effective in the maintenance of these production facilities. There also, they were actually open and said, if we knew companies in that area, they could actually think about collaboration and also become test pilots for these newcomers or established corporates. So this is one way, actually, that we have to foster this kind of relationship. But you understand quite quickly that it's limited in terms of scope or size, because we don't have facilities to accept a lot of international groups. But what we have noticed at Technoport, an advantage that we have when we discuss with such corporates, is that we are not a specialized incubator. We deal with companies in ICT, in industrial applications, environmental applications, blockchain, health. So it's much easier for us, I would say, than a specialized incubator to be able to propose or suggest interactions to larger groups that have multiple topics of innovation within their agenda. A challenge that we have on our side is actually to select the startup companies in our program. And you see here that we have roughly 7 to 10% of the total applications that we can accept on a yearly basis. And it's obvious that for us it becomes then critical to accept the ones where we can add the most added value. And for doing that, we developed a range of partnerships with local players. This is just a subset, by the way. It's the one that I thought was more relevant to the audience. These are corporates, local corporates in utility, energy, and other domains. Paul Wörth is more a global player also, but still we are working with the incubator, which is focused on industrial companies, the so-called Indutech technologies. And I will give you just one example to show you actually how we work with these players. So NeoBuild is an organization that focuses on promoting and testing new technologies in the construction and building sector. And right now we are discussing with them to set up a pilot project to help construction companies track tools and equipments and materials that they have on construction sites during the different phases of a building construction. So, and for that, we are looking at 5G to see if that's a technology that could help them deliver a better services to the final customers in that area. Another example is RockLab. That's more for music applications, just to show you actually the broadness of the type of collaborations that we can have. But all these collaborations are basically also focused on testing, validating, and then giving the first customers to startups. What we have noticed together also with Vodafone procurement was that in the value chain in this ecosystem in Luxembourg, there was one big element missing. It was basically the one for scaling up the startups once they leave the incubator. And so Tomorrow Suite is jumping in this area and has a dedicated program for that. So for us, it's not just helping the startups that go out of our incubator to scale up, but it's basically also attracting new startups to Luxembourg, which have new competencies, new innovation, new technologies, and then opening up also new opportunities for the local ecosystem as such. It gives also further credibility to the whole initiative. I think such a program is not a program that you find everywhere in the world. And by the way, if you are a corporate or an SME in the room, you should look at the companies that they have. They are all also present at Arch today. But there might be some solutions that you might be interested in looking at also. Tomorrow Suite and also all the other partnerships are also interesting for us because they give us access to industry expertise and to knowledge that we wouldn't have access to if we wouldn't have these kind of collaborations. And this, again, drives actually the selection processes that we have in our incubator to coach better, but also to set up new services for the hosted companies that we have. One of the vertical of Tomorrow Suite is security. This is a domain where we have had quite a lot of success stories in the past. So the last two lines that you have here are companies that left the incubator successfully. The ones with the green tick have been acquired by large corporates, mainly in the US. If you're looking at specific applications in security, like strong authentication solutions, access controls to buildings, etc., you should definitely look at RC Devs. That's a company which is providing this kind of innovation to big corporates, also in the States, Fortune 500, and are very dynamic and innovative in that area. The first line is representing 4 companies in that area that we still host at the incubator. Hotshot, I will not go too much in detail about Hotshot because he will pitch at the final of the Future Tech competition. But what is interesting for Hotshot is actually that this is an outcome also of Tomorrow Street. Tomorrow Street is scanning worldwide the most relevant scale-up companies that they could get into the program. And sometimes they find some companies that are not yet ready, but are still very relevant to what they want to support. And so they signpost these companies to the incubator. And so we get to know companies. In this case, Aaron is coming from the US, and he decided actually to relocate completely to Luxembourg to scale up the company and launch it. Passbolt has a stand also here, so you should visit them if you have a big issue in terms of password management in your company or corporate. They have developed a SaaS model for IT departments to handle all these issues around password management. Silent Breach is a quite early startup. They are still working on their product. It's a new system or tool for security information and event management systems. They will probably be ready for the next Arch Summit, so you will be able to check that over the next year. APS is more in the in the fintech area. They have developed actually highly secured and credit and debit cards that are now in the process of being validated by MasterCard and Visa. And they have also launched a cold wallet for cryptocurrency in Asia and are now starting the promotion in Europe. So this is just to talk about one specific subsector. But like I said previously, we are not a specialized incubator. So I just wanted to end with 3 companies that are not anymore startups, that are operating in the market since many years now, that went through our incubation programs, but that might be relevant for some of the corporates that are in the room or are present here at Arch. Talkwalker is addressing probably more the marketing, communication, and strategic departments of your corporates. They are active in everything which is brand monitoring and social media listening around brands. And they have recently celebrated their 10th anniversary. In that occasion, they also launched a new product, which is actually helping brands identify their logos in videos online. So typically you are Vodafone, you want to know where your Vodafone logo is displayed in which videos. This tool is actually helping these brands to get access to that information. It's a worldwide company, more than 200 employees, present in almost all continents right now, and one of the leaders in that field. If you are more into hardware solutions, working with composite materials, so it can be consumer electronics or something like that, eExtreme is probably a company that you might have heard about, but if not, you should check. They are offering software suites for helping your R&D departments more to simulate the behavior of composite materials on software level. So you reduce your time to market of new products by testing a lot already upfront on the software side. This is a company also which is in business since more than 15 years, got acquired by an American company, MSC Software, but still present in Luxembourg also. And then finally, Fubut, that's an IoT company. They started as a B2C product. It's a device that helps you monitor the air quality indoor. And they very quickly now shifted to B2B applications, where they now integrate the technology within air purification systems or HVAC systems in buildings. Very big markets in the US and also in Asia. So that's actually 3 companies that might be relevant to some of the companies that are present also at Arch today. So all this, just to conclude, to tell you actually that when I was putting the title, it's not all about startups, it's really about the ecosystem around. So it's really this connection that we are trying also to achieve at Arch, to bring startups together with corporates and more mature SMEs, but it's also to find the right SMEs that are open-minded actually to work with startups, because I think even you need actually to keep up the pace of innovation in your industry, and sometimes you need actually to be partnering with startups that might be more agile and also bringing up innovation that you might not be able to do in-house at the same pace. So that's it from my side. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the Arch Summit, and thank you for your attention.